All right, everybody. Well, hi. Welcome to Talk of the Townies. You guys may have noticed that we have a new face here with us. Our dearest and darlingest Miss Annie Dow.
I can't believe
Annie.
it. How are you doing?
It's so nice to see you here.
It's so nice to be here. I mean, I am stepping into some really important shoes, and I feel that.
Truly. You
but
really are.
I'm excited.
And so we just wanted to say, with Mike's schedule, we're kind of running into like some scheduling conflicts. And we all know that in this industry, when it comes to podcasting, consistency is key. So Mike and I connected, and I need to like really emphasize there's no bad blood. We love Mike more than anything. Go follow the Bravo Bottoms because they've been absolutely popping off. Like they just hit 15,000 followers, which is absolutely incredible.
I feel like I'm watching someone finally live what they were supposed to.
Totally.
You know
and
what I mean?
completely agree with you. Like watching him take off like this it's really like, and I've said it here on the pod, if you're a frequent listener, you know, like I have said every time, I'm like, I'm so proud of you. You have this event coming up. But anyways, we're so proud of him, but he has made the tough decision. And we've talked together to kind of, for him to take a step back from Talk of the Townies for now and focus on the Bottoms, because it's just, it grew to this monstrosity of a thing that he just can't do both. And the Bottoms need his time and attention. So we love him and we wish him all the best. And he obviously has an open invite to pop in and spill the tea absolutely anytime. So we're going to have a nice little goodbye episode on May 10th here. Me, Annie, and Mike will be doing that one together. And then we're going to be hosting a Vanderpump Rules watch party at Nash Bar that night. So if you want to come and wish Mike goodbye or come say hi to me and Annie, we'll be there.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be really fun.
Just combining Vanderpump Rules and the absolute disaster that it's been with Mike.
Yeah, I love it.
They're my two favorite things in the entire world.
No, it's been, and that's what's crazy is the scandal of it all is what really pushed them like over the edge
100%.
to get they just got to 15,000 followers. And that was one of the things that like really pushed them from like, I think they were just over 10K, and then the scandal happened and they just hit 15K the other day.
He's working overtime.
He really is. He's working so hard, and we love him, and we totally wish him all the best. We support you. Mike, we love you. And we're excited for what comes next for you, but we're excited for what comes next for us too.
I know. I can't believe I'm here.
I'm so happy you're here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, Annie's going to be joining me full time here, and we're really excited. And tell us a little bit about what led you here.
Yeah, you know, I can't seem to stay away from a microphone, Ab.
Of course. No, you were born for this.
It's been something that's just been my entire life. I love to find a mic, and I love to talk, and I love to make people listen.
And that's why I always say that's why I became a teacher, because they have no choice but to listen to me.
Yeah, it's a gift.
They have no option.
It's a true gift. So if you don't know, I was in radio for 5 years. I just made the decision to leave last June when my contract was up. But I worked on a morning show and I loved it. It was an awesome experience. I worked with the best people. And yeah, it was tough. It was tough to step away, but it was necessary for me.
Totally, yeah.
And you know, it made me appreciate it in different parts of it for sure, especially, you know, being able to talk to listeners is the best thing in the entire world. To be able to connect with people that may be strangers and you make them feel a little bit less alone, or, you know, I've like made friends out of it, which is crazy.
Totally. I have people who still to this day, like people, I'll see them and they're like, I miss Annie Dow on the radio. Like, I wonder how I'm like, she's doing really well.
I know.
But you have loyal fans out there, which is like really big. And you made people feel good, which is the whole goal of all of this.
And they made me feel good too. And I feel very lucky in that. And I feel that this platform allows the same thing. You know,
yeah.
It's just giving people an opportunity to feel like they're just chatting with a friend.
Yeah. And that's what we've always wanted, is just to feel like you're listening to a conversation with two of your best friends, just chatting about what's going on in the world. And I feel like that's what makes it fun.
Right. I think there's nothing worse than when you're sitting in traffic and you're like trying to find a song to listen to or something, and you're just like so stressed from work. And sometimes it's nice to just pop on Talk of the Townies and hear your girlies chatting.
Yeah, and just hear what's going on.
And be like, it's so nice to just be able to relax that way.
Totally.
You know?
I completely agree with you. And I have not listened to morning radio since you left because
Wow.
that's what I felt like. I felt like I was listening to my friends talk when I was listening to you on the radio, and I missed that aspect of it. So we're so happy to have you here, and I can't wait to see where this takes us. It's going to be a really exciting journey. And for those of you that don't know, Annie and I have been friends for a really long time.
Like way too long.
Really long. We've known each other since we were small children. And we've been friends for a while. I actually introduced her to her current boyfriend.
Sure did. Thanks a lot.
Yep. If you guys, I mean, I love matchmaking. If I were not a teacher, I would love to be like a professional matchmaker. It's something that brings me so much joy.
And you would be so good at it.
So if you know anybody my husband's going to absolutely kill me for saying this because he's always like, please stop setting people up. Because like my track record is pretty good.
I was going to say.
On the off chance that like some of the ones that I have set up previously like didn't work, he's like, please stop. But I love it. It brings me such joy. If you're single, please reach out and I would love to set you up with somebody.
We should do an episode on that.
We absolutely should.
We can matchmake people. I would love that.
That would be so fun. If you're single, hit us up and we can make something work. So that's that. Tell us what you've been up to lately. Like what's new, how's things, what's poppin'?
Yeah, so things have been good. So like I said, I made the decision to leave the station at the end of June. So I kind of took the summer and was just doing whatever I wanted.
Freelance girly.
Which was crazy.
The life of a teacher, being off for the summer. It's really nice, isn't it?
It was insane. I took a road trip by myself. I drove up and down the East Coast.
Was that just like the most liberating thing you've ever done?
It's crazy because as you know, I am such an extrovert. I love people.
Yeah,
I love being in a group, whatever. But I'm kind of a loner at the same time. It's the way that
I need that alone time. You have to recharge.
You really, really do. And so being in the car alone for that extended amount of time, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And just to be able to like stop and go to the bathroom whenever I wanted, or stop and get a coffee. There's no one you have to worry about.
Listen to whatever song you want.
Yeah, it was awesome, and I got to see a bunch of college friends and just people that brought happiness back into my life.
Yeah.
It was like just the perfect thing I needed at that time. And then I kind of just did whatever job I could. I was painting, I was babysitting, I was really a jack of all trades.
You were legit Tom Sawyer painting the fence. I was like, are you painting a fence right now? And you were like, yep, I am. I was like, okay.
I painted multiple fences. I was
many a fence.
Honestly, put me in the painters union. I am nasty at it.
Local girl, union girl.
I had a blast. I just would pop in my AirPods. I'd listen to a podcast. I'd paint for 8 hours and I'd be like, oh, okay, that went by fast. And I would just like go. I went to dinner one night. I still had paint all on my hands. I was like, wow, I feel like a working gal.
I was just going to say like a real like blue collar, hands-on girl.
1,000%. And then I started at this company, Kramer. They are an event production company, and it's been an awesome experience. It's crazy to start over completely new. It's a very humbling experience because it's scary. It's scary from going from being good at your job and kind of knowing and being really confident in that to starting this new career where you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's been great.
That's awesome. Well, I feel like it's one of those things where like the worst part is like you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
That's the worst part for me. Like, especially like a couple years ago, I switched to a new school and a new school system and like everybody's routines are different. Like you don't know what's allowed. I feel like that would be like that's the most stressful part is like not knowing how much you don't know. And then you start to realize and you're like, oh God, I really.
Yeah. It's like you want to ask questions, but you don't even know what questions to ask.
Yeah.
But we're taking every day. I'm learning so much, which is awesome. I get to travel, which is such a great experience. And the people that work there are so smart and just have so much experience. And it's cool. It's cool to challenge yourself. I mean, it's terrifying and I thought I was going to do radio forever, as you know, and it's okay that it didn't work out that way. And we're just, I don't know, 28's been a wild ride so far.
Yeah.
It really has, but it's been great. And I'm excited to kind of see where it goes.
Yeah. And I think the best part of it is like, you get so many of the best of all of the worlds that you love so much. Like you get to travel, which I feel like that's something that like that's so you. To travel is such a you thing to
Every
do.
other week I'm like, I want to move. I want to move. I want to move.
I really thought when you left the station, and you and I had conversations, I genuinely believed that you were going to pack up, take your boyfriend, and move across the country and go do radio somewhere else in like San Diego or San Francisco, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
But I think this is like a perfect balance for you because you're like me. You're still a homebody.
Yep.
You love your parents and you love to be at home.
I do. As
I do. And as much as I could see you moving, I don't know if I could see you moving that far away from your parents, but you did it for college.
Right.
And that was, I don't know how you did that. You are way ballsier than I am.
Oh, it was the best decision I ever made. Because moving away for college, though, is a little bit different because at least everyone there is in the same situation. Yeah. Whereas if I picked up and moved to a different city now, I could do it. I have no problem. The boyfriend would kind of be a tough situation because he's not really like that. He's not as adventurous, and that's fine.
And that's fine.
But it definitely would be different now because you moved to a whole new city and you're like, oh crap, I have to make all new friends. I have to do all of this new stuff. Whether it's college, everyone's kind of like, hey, you want to be my friend?
Yeah. And because we're such townies, like not to bring it back to the talk of the townies of it all, but again, we're such townies, like growing up in Quincy, everybody's from Quincy. You know everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. You go somewhere and everybody knows who you know. That I feel like you could find people where you would go, but it's just not. It's just not the same.
Do you know, I had a teacher in high school that when I was graduating, and I was there was a few of us that were moving away, and she said, "You're never gonna find people like Quincy people. There's nothing like it." And she wasn't from Quincy, and she was like, "I've just never seen a community like that."
No,
and I
was
like,
true.
Damn. And I think the older I get, the more I'm like, oh, that's so true.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate it. And seeing my parents' generation, your parents, like seeing them and how close they are and always talking about Quincy, and it's crazy. My only regret is that, well, not regret because I didn't make the choice, but I didn't go to high school in Quincy.
Right.
And that was the only thing that I wish I had, because I love where I went to high school and I love the people that I met. But that's sometimes I feel a little bit of an outsider because I didn't go to North or Quincy, and I couldn't. But not that it really matters. I mean, we still have the same friends. We all still ended up in the same boat.
It all comes out in the wash.
It
really does. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way that maybe went to an all-girls school or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I kind of missed out. But like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
You really didn't.
We all did the same thing. You came to my prom.
Yeah,
like
I was still at North's prom. I still made it. Like it's okay. I was there. It was all the same to me.
You were in the important moments.
And I still live there now. I mean, that's what. And we were just talking about the housing market, whatever. But thank God I married somebody who was like, yeah, sure, I'll move to Quincy. That's fine.
Yeah, I think the most important thing from Quincy, like when you move somewhere else and you just realize, is how neighborly it is. Like people actually care about each other.
Yeah.
And you can trust your neighbor to be like, hey, I'm going away for a week down the Cape or whatever. Can you please just keep an eye on the house or grab the mail or whatever? That doesn't happen everywhere.
No, it really doesn't.
We should be the poster child for Quincy. Quincy, please hire me. We will do all of your marketing.
Can we get the city of Quincy to sponsor this podcast?
Oh my God.
I really feel like they should.
To.
That would be so great.
I know. We are the pride. We are the pride and joy.
We really are. I mean, no, they say it all the time. You are the pride of Quincy.
I mean,
there's a really big Quincy Facebook group that shouted you out. They were like, Annie Dow, the pride of Quincy.
I know. And then I got into a couple fights on that Facebook page.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
It's, but that's okay. That's just the land of Facebook.
Hey, that's showbiz, baby.
But that's showbiz, baby.
So anyways, we're so happy to have you here. We're really excited for this next phase of our lives together, and it's very exciting.
I'm really, really excited, and thank you for asking me because I missed it. I did miss a mic.
I knew you would. And that's when I texted you, that is what you said. You said, I miss hooking up to a mic and talking some shit. And that's exactly what we do here.
I love just throwing on some headphones. Like people say that they don't like the sound of their own voice. I love it. I
absolutely love it.
The sound of my own voice.
I love listening to this is so humiliating, but I love listening to my own podcast in the car.
See?
Like, I was so funny right there.
You need to be your own biggest fan.
You really
love
yourself.
Who's gonna do it? Love yourself, girl, or nobody will.
And I've always said that.
Before J. Cole did. You said it.
No, J. Cole who? I don't know him.
Whomst?
He stole that line from me. All right, so we got some hot topics for you guys today. So first and foremost, I don't watch Love is Blind. I'm not a Love is Blind girly.
Abby.
But
Abigail.
they've had some drama over the last couple days. Tell me about it.
So it's so frustrating because I feel like this was the first season where the reunion actually could have been good. So, and what I mean by that is in this season, people were actually like kind of sneaky in conniving and catty. And in the previous seasons, like the first season, I really do believe people showed up being like, oh my God, I'm going to fall in love with somebody.
Right.
And really like leaned into the experiment. That's what they say, the experiment. But really leaned into it. And this season, it seemed, as so many reality shows, this is how it goes. The further you get into it, the more popular it becomes and the more people want to go on just to get famous.
Right.
And that sucks.
It's the Bachelorette effect.
And I didn't even watch the most recent season of The Bachelor.
I didn't either, which is crazy because you are
and
the
I am
Bachelorette guru.
Like I used to do a recap.
A whole segment, yeah.
I had a bit. It was a whole thing. I hosted like watch parties.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even watch the most recent season because one, your Bachelor is like 24 years old.
Right.
So
and everybody's there for the wrong reasons.
Everyone is there for
which is the
Instagram.
catchphrase, but it's like, it's true.
And it's just like, how do you, in my opinion, they just need to be in their later 20s, early 30s.
No, I always think of Kit Keenan, who was on, I forget whose season she was on, but now she's a massive influencer.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like really rooting, I think it was Justin's.
No, who was her Bachelor? No, I think Ari might have been her Bachelor.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
But either way, she is at the time I was rooting for her to end up with whoever the Bachelor was on her season. And then I realized she was like 22.
That's what I mean.
And I said to myself, what the fuck does she need to be on this? And then she ended up being astronomically famous because she's Cynthia Rowley's daughter and all this stuff. And now she's a huge influencer. And I'm like, she only went on that show for the clout, 100%.
And I don't even hate them for doing that.
No.
Because I get it. If you can go on a show and then gain 100,000 followers and get all these brand deals, good for you. Love that for you. And if you get a relationship out of it, you kill two birds with one stone. Congratulations. But
exactly.
The problem I have with...
it was Matt James. That's who it was. And then she ended up leaving in the middle because she was like, I don't think I can do this because she was so young.
I really loved Matt James. Like, I really did. The only problem I had was that he kissed with his eyes open.
Yeah.
And it was so horrifying. And I just needed him to stop.
One of the worst things I've ever seen. But I remember you and I talking about this and me just saying,
stop doing that.
For what?
His girlfriend Rachel is like, yeah, we still try to work on him not doing
Well, we
that.
knew that they were going to end up together because there was a whole scandal that whole season. And then we knew that they were going to, because the way that they were handling it, we were like, they're definitely going to end up together.
And I really do enjoy them together. Like, I like their content. They just kind of mind their business.
Right.
They live in New York. They eat food. They just kind of chill. And I like
they're just
that.
regular people. At least they ended up together on like most Bachelor or
and they're
couples.
and they're still dating, which is great. Like getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Love is Blind. Love is Blind is a pressure cooker, just like all of these other reality shows, right? They take everything away from you. You have no contact with your family, no phone. You have no fucking idea what's going on in the world. And I understand that. And it's a lot. You're getting engaged sight unseen in like 6 days or something. I don't remember the exact number of days it is, but it's really fast, and I get that. And you have this pressure like, okay, well, I need to get really deep in these conversations, and then I need to propose to someone, and then we go to Mexico, and then I have to marry them. Like, it's a lot, and it's moving very fast, but you're signing up for it.
Yeah,
so
that's what you want
to know.
Yeah.
But the craziest part of this season is the couples that did end up getting engaged and going to Mexico. There was so much intermingling with the other couples. So typically in the previous seasons, there's been like maybe 1 or 2 of these instances. But to me, this season, when they were all in Mexico and they could finally see what the other people looked like other people that they may have been dating, some people they were dating for a lot longer in the pods, they were like, well, do you like kind of wish it was us? Like, it was just so sneaky.
Oh my
and
God.
There was a lot of flirting.
Justin, do you watch it? You're nodding your head.
I watched the season. Yeah.
Oh.
Do you know what
I
I
saw
mean?
it.
Like, it
Kwame
was
and Chelsea, super
Yes.
sneaky. Irina, super sneaky. Yeah.
Irina's a bitch.
Interesting.
Like, she is.
Well, now I feel like I have to go back and watch.
It was a really, really, really
Okay.
good season.
How many episodes? It doesn't matter. I can bang it out in a
I
couple
think
days.
there
Doesn't
was
matter.
10. No, 12?
They finished at 12, I think.
Yeah.
In the reunion. Can I ask you? So
yes,
I think I'm in the minority about this because from what I'm hearing on in social media and online, everybody loves him. I thought Marshall had a ton of red flags.
Oh my God, I love Marshall.
Okay, everybody loved him. I felt the exact opposite about him.
Did you feel like he was dancing around the questions?
No, so I felt like he was like the type of dude who tries to play like everything all cool and genuine, but deep down like he has like he's ready to snap. Like he's got like some sort of like dark side or like he's like emotionally not stable. Like that's what I got from
Interesting.
him.
That is so I feel there's 3 sides to every story, right? His, hers, and the truth and whatever. But I feel like Marshall was in a tough position because the person that he ended up getting engaged to, her name is Jackie. She just wants that like toxic love, the ups, the downs, the fighting. And Marshall,
the Notebook of it all.
Right. And Marshall is just, to me, a very like emotionally intelligent, kind of chill guy. That's to him in a relationship, he just wants to almost like sit home and bake cookies and like and talk about their feelings, right. Where she is like, I want you to be more manly and masculine. And like, what the fuck does that even mean? But it's so when we finally get to the reunion, mind you, this is the first live reunion that
I
Netflix
did hear
was
that.
supposed to do.
Yep.
And they shit the bed so bad, Abby. It was so bad. So it was supposed to be, they had a time stamped 8 o'clock, a Friday night.
Were you trying to watch live?
Yes.
A Sunday night.
It was a Friday. Was it a Sunday night?
It was Sunday because it was the same night as Succession.
Oh, yes. You're right.
Were you trying to watch live, Justin?
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
Yeah, so Sunday night, time stamped, 8 o'clock, like, and it's all over Twitter. Everyone's like, yes, finally we can watch the reunion. Like, it was the biggest reaction to a season that I've seen so far. And so you try to log on and it's like loading 25% and then kicking you off, or it's saying like the reunion will begin soon. They just completely shit the bed. So then they had to tape it and put it on the next day, which it wasn't until like noon Pacific time the next day, which was bad. But some people could get in that night. It was a mess. It was an absolute disaster. And I just think if you are a streaming platform and you don't usually do live stuff, there's no reason for it to be live reunion.
Then don't make it live then.
There's no reason.
Right.
People are still going to watch. It's okay. But so we finally get to the reunion, and I just don't know why the Lachey's are the hosts. They're so bad.
That is all the feedback that I have heard from everything I've seen on social media.
So bad. I don't think Vanessa Lachey is a bad person. I think she's fine, but she's so incredibly biased. I almost like, obviously Andy Cohen's a different story, but I almost like when they have a host that has no involvement, right, and they can binge the show and they can take their notes and then they can ask the questions. Like Maria Menounos does MTV reunions now, which I love because she has no idea. She has no affiliation with the challenge or whatever. Right. Like Vanessa Lachey is too involved in these people, and then she tries to give like unsolicited relationship advice. She kept asking, when am I getting a Love is Blind baby? Abby must have asked 10 times. And it was so
know how that would drive me absolutely up a wall. Mind your business.
So wildly inappropriate. And you could read on so Tiffany, one of the ladies on the show, she I believe is 36, 37. Awesome. She ended up with a great guy, very good relationship. And you could just see on her face, like, please stop asking me.
And it's like, how do you lack the self-awareness as somebody who's a well-known host?
Right.
And also has been around the block. She's not like young. It's not like it's one of these, she should know better. How do you, in good conscience, look at somebody and say, when are you going to have a baby? I just feel like it's so like, ew.
It was so uncomfortable. It almost felt like
people are saying that she's facing a lot of backlash in the last couple of days.
They need to get a new host, and it doesn't. I mean, people are like, Andy Cohen should host, but like Andy Cohen has enough jobs.
You could find somebody else.
Right, and it doesn't
call us. We could do it.
It's just like, but you need to ask. You need to press more. Like she was just so biased in her questioning. First of all, the part of one of the scandals was Marshall and Jackie get engaged. She ends up breaking up with him, and then she chooses another castmate, this guy, Josh. And they didn't even show up to the reunion. They did a pre-recorded interview, and I just feel like that's bullshit. You all signed the same contracts at the beginning.
Well, and that's what it's like with the Housewives. Like, you have to show up to the reunion.
You have to.
That is the rules.
It's the same with Vanderpump. Like Raquel can't not show up. She has to. She is contractually obligated
to be there.
And it just pissed me off because this pre-recorded interview with Jackie and Josh, like Vanessa barely asked any questions and then grills Marshall. And it's like, you gotta give like
it has to be
fair
even.
Play on both.
Right.
You have to. And I just think Netflix should be ashamed. It was a really, really bad reunion. Like,
Justin, anything to add to that?
No, honestly, same kind of thing. I thought like it was just, poorly done.
Were you cringing at the Lachey's?
Yeah. Well, first off, I think Nick Lachey is just like such like
There's no reason for him to be there. He doesn't do anything.
No, you can tell everything is like something like a producer fed him to say beforehand.
Yes.
Like he's got nothing to say.
No, not a thought behind those eyes.
Right. And like I'm sorry, what's the wife's name again?
Vanessa.
I think she's very biased, like you said. Like you can clearly tell who she like and who she doesn't like, and she'll target them.
And it's so bad.
Ever since I read, there's a few people that I've read memoirs and then I changed my mind about them.
Yeah.
And Nick Lachey is actually like one of them. Ever since I read Jessica Simpson's memoir, I'm team fuck Nick Lachey.
Oh, we are team Jessica Simpson.
We really are. Her memoir is so
here.
good. It's like such a great book. I loved it. Have you read it?
No, but
you should listen to it on audiobook. It reads like a podcast, honestly.
Is it her reading it?
I believe it is. Okay. It's very good. And you really see him in a different light because he really was such an asshole to her.
Yeah.
He was awful. I mean, and we saw it, which is crazy that we're old enough to remember, but I remember watching them on their show that they had, whatever, like Newlyweds. Yeah. And she was like, is it chicken or is it?
Fish?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I remember that. And he just seemed like such a douche. And now looking back at it, I'm like, oh, he was kind of awful.
Yeah. And it's that whole situation too makes me so uncomfortable because we watch these shows where someone was basically getting like verbally abused.
Yeah.
And
there was
just
nothing
like,
you could do about it.
Like first season of Jersey Shore, we watched a woman get abused,
literally
actually abused, and we just were all like, that's normal,
right?
That's cool.
And everybody just was like, okay,
yeah, let's keep playing at MTV, no problem whatsoever.
No, it's crazy. And then even in this, like, I remember the big promos leading up to it was when Snooki got punched in the face.
Do you remember when that episode aired, they showed that man punching her?
Yes. And now they don't even show it on TV anymore. No. But before, we literally saw Snooki get straight up sucker punched.
Off a bar stool.
5-foot tiny woman gets
She's
sucker
not even.
punched.
She must be like 4'9".
No, and we were gearing for it like people gear for the Met Gala.
100%.
Popcorn, like the whole
Jersey
thing.
Shore was, it's still, first season of Jersey Shore, 2009, one of the best television programs I've ever seen.
Oh, 100%.
I think that's the GOAT reality show.
It really
is. There's nothing like it.
Because they plucked these people and they were like, you're going to go. They didn't get paid for that first season.
No.
They literally got paid to work at the Shore store and they could live in that house.
Yeah.
And obviously it's blown up to what it is, but I think
it was all genuine at first.
And that's the best part. That's what reality television is lacking now. It's
the authenticity of it.
Yes, which I know, of course, there's still contrived things in that first season of Jersey Shore, but like there's really not. They basically were like, here, go get drunk and we're going to film you.
And the reality
Vinny
shows
was
have become
21 years old.
Right.
That's insane.
They've become this monster that they never should have become.
Right.
In a way that, especially now, I mean, you get so few storylines that are genuine.
Right.
That's why the Scandival has become so big.
Right.
Because it's a true, genuine story that messed up a lot of people's lives.
Right. Like
that's why everybody's so interested in it.
You're affecting actual people now. It's not just like, oh, you like got drunk and made a mistake. Like you.
I can't wait to see the way that I mean, I
God.
can't wait for the reunion. Justin just started watching Vanderpump from season 1.
Stop, Justin.
No, not from season 1.
Okay.
I picked up this season.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good
I
enough.
heard about the drama. Alyssa's
we were talking about
I've had to watch
Starting
it.
from the first season would be a lot.
It would be a lot. But
it would be a lot.
And it's like uncomfortable to watch some of that stuff now.
Yeah. So you're caught up with what's on currently?
Yeah. So, all right. I just have to say, like, and I've watched a lot
of
the reality shows.
Anything.
So, look, I've seen a lot of the reality shows out there. Like, Alyssa's maybe watched a ton of them. Even the ones that, like, I think are cringeworthy. Like, I can find people or, like, qualities about people that I'm like, okay, like, you know what? Like, this person's not bad. Like,
right.
I can't find a single person on Vanderpump Rules that I like as a human being.
My God.
Every single one of them gives me, like, a big ick. Like, I just cannot do it. And like the other Tom, I mean, I know the Tom Sandoval guy is a piece of shit, but like the other Tom,
oh, he's the worst.
What a creep.
He's a coward.
Such a loser.
Oh my God.
Katie never should have married him because I just was reminded the other day of the time that he poured a legitimate drink over her head
on her,
and then she married him. The mind blowing.
One thing I can't stand is cowardly people. Like, I hate when people just won't stick up for anything
or anybody.
He won't take a stance on anything.
No.
It's insane to me.
No, I totally agree with you.
Like, just defend your wife. It's really not that difficult.
No,
and I don't give a shit that she's your ex-wife now. She's been one of your best friends for how many years now?
Right.
It's crazy.
And and with the whole thing with Tom Sandoval, it's like you need to pick a side.
You need to pick a side.
You can't be saying that you're rooting for Ariana, but then also at the same time be like, Tom needs a little bit of grace. Tom doesn't deserve an ounce of my grace.
No. Wait, can we talk about the Howie Mandel interview? Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it, but I watched some clips of it. Talk to me about it.
I have. So there's a couple girls at work that are also obsessed. And, when I just feel like it's engulfed office culture.
It really has. It's just something to talk about.
It's the best thing to talk about. But so one of the ladies sent me the Howie Mandel interview. And first of all, I was like, Howie Mandel has a podcast? Like, what the fuck? And
who's listening? Why?
I can
get... There's a million other podcasts.
Do you know it made me so mad? I commented on a YouTube. Like, you
were trolling?
No, I was literally like a 65-year-old Karen. I was so angry. First of all, so it's Howie and his daughter is a huge Vanderpump Rules fan.
Okay.
So you would think that he would kind of let her take the reins, right?
Of course not.
He did not do an ounce of research. He didn't know nothing about the scandal. Didn't know any of the people on the show. He knows Tom Sandoval. He's like, they're kind of friends and they almost went into business together. So I'm like, what kind of bullshit PR move is this?
Right.
And Tom Sandoval probably got in so much trouble from Bravo because you're not allowed to talk about any of that. You signed an NDA.
Yeah.
Like, and you know better. It was I commented, this is one of the worst interviews I have ever seen. So incredibly lazy. I will never be watching this again. Like, I was
good for you, Annie.
So mad.
The only other interview that I've ever heard you feel so strongly about, you probably know exactly what I'm going to say, is when Alex Cooper interviewed Miley Cyrus.
No, I still can't talk about that to this day.
I've never seen Annie so mad as when. But you interviewed Miley Cyrus one time.
I did.
Which is like humble brag. Like, not trying to speak for my friend here, but she interviewed Miley Cyrus one time. But when Alex Cooper interviewed Miley Cyrus, and it was the legitimate worst interview of all time. She interrupted her every time Miley went to talk. Alex Cooper went to talk over her. It was so bad. I'll never forget how mad Annie was about it. So to hear you this mad about the Howie Mandel thing is...
I think if you get the opportunity to go to Miley Cyrus's home and interview her, like, she's inviting you into her home. That's unbelievable. And good for Alex Cooper for having that opportunity. But it was...
Happy for her. We support women around here.
We support women, but not all women, because it was so bad. I just don't understand how you can be interviewing someone of that caliber, and especially Miley, because she gives such good answers. She's so authentic. She's so honest and so true to herself, and it will actually give you answers, not just like one word, like blah, blah, blah.
Not what her publicist told her to say.
Exactly. And she kept interrupting her, and I was like, shut up.
Oh my God. It was so bad. It really was so bad.
But anyways. With the Howie Mandel, like, he kept just being like, well, you weren't married, so that's all he kept saying. He was like giving him a
Howie kept saying that to him?
Like, you weren't married, so I don't know why people are so angry. I don't give a shit if he wasn't married. I don't care.
That is so crazy.
Him and Ariana were together for what, 8 years, 9 years?
Yeah.
That's longer than most people's marriage, first of all. And second of all, it doesn't matter.
No, it simply doesn't matter.
It literally does not matter. They were in a committed relationship with one another, and he was doing something so horrible. Like, to take it to that, it wasn't one night. It wasn't a one-night fling.
Nope.
You had a full-blown affair with someone that was living in your home.
Yeah. Well, and it's so crazy now to go back and watch.
Yeah.
Because there's so many
little things.
Like Easter eggs. Because apparently the first time they hooked up was at boys' night, which was the night that they were at the restaurant or whatever that Raquel and them crashed. And apparently that was the first night that they hooked up. So now when you watch, there's stuff that you see. Like, there was a scene in the episode of Sheena's wedding.
Yeah.
Where Sandoval was looking at Raquel and was like, Raquel. And I was watching it and I was like, oh my God.
Did you see the clip when he smacks her ass?
Yep. And he slapped her ass. And there was some other show that just premiered the other day that something from Love is Blind. At the wedding, one of the bridesmaids. Yeah. I don't watch it. So
do you think that was? I don't think that was an intentional.
I don't think that was intentional.
No,
okay.
It was.
Okay.
It looked
just
wrong.
Purely
in the moment,
coincidental.
But yeah.
If the kid Paul that they said like smacked the brides, he's so harmless, Abby. Like
okay. Because I was confused. I was like, oh, I don't know.
I think he like literally just talked to a girl for the first time. Like,
it was his
2 weeks ago. So I just feel like he wouldn't.
Just came on the scene.
Yeah.
Probably not going to make moves like that yet.
But Howie Mandel should be ashamed just from an interviewer standpoint.
Yeah.
Like to do no research and just have someone on because you're like kind of friends with them and you're like doing them a favor.
Yeah.
Like it was so gross.
That's it. Even like we've had guests on this pod in the past and I've been like, we had my friend Mackenzie who it runs a book club. Like I had genuine questions for her that I had researched by like doing my research on her. You have to do your due diligence as somebody that works in media, you idiot.
It's crazy. And he shouldn't have a podcast. And if you go to hit that YouTube and you see my comment.
I'm going to go like it. I'm going to like it from the Talk of the Townies account.
I mean, all the comments were like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, this is abysmal. Oh my God. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Maybe I will listen to it. But I don't want to give him the listen. I don't want to give him the views. I'll just keep watching on TikTok. Like every time I see the clips.
It's bad.
So that's our little Love is Blind recap and our Scandival update. So we'll
it all comes back to that.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted on that. One thing that I wanted to talk about because I know that you and I had vaguely talked about it a couple seconds before we started recording, but one of the hot new couple alerts that people have been talking about is Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet.
I cannot believe this. I really can't.
Every time I think about it, I just get more and more
confused.
Yeah. Because he looks like a Victorian child.
He is a beautiful, beautiful man.
He's quite attractive. I'll admit it. But he has an air of like
he's like an artist.
Yes. Tortured artist to him.
Yes.
And I just don't see him with a Kylie Jenner type. I just don't.
I know. And I get it. When you are in that world, you probably all run in similar circles. And it's hard for me to wrap my mind around because I'm like, how are they even friends? But
how do they even know each other?
Right.
Like, how do they exist in the same on the same plane of existence?
But I feel like they're in drastically different places in their lives as well.
And in their careers, too.
Like, I do believe Kylie is, despite what anyone may think, I think she's funny and I think she's cool.
She's one of the better Kardashians for sure.
I think she's like pretty normal underneath it all. Like, I think that she's just like goofy and whatever. But like, she has 2 kids. She's a mom. She runs her own business. I don't see like her and Timothee Chalamet like
vibing.
What do they talk about?
Totally. That's exactly what do you talk about? Like, for going from somebody who's always dated like people in the music, even just like in the music industry and things like that, to all of a sudden dating an actor. It's like, what do you talk about together?
Do you talk about?
What do you talk about at night before bed? That's what I always wonder.
Right. How did your movie shoot go with Zendaya?
Right. I can't even get over that. I just think
what new lip kits did you drop, Kyle's? Like, I don't understand.
What were Stormy and Air up to today?
Yeah. Like, I'm happy for them. I'm happy for anyone that wants to give love a shot. Good for you. But I honestly feel like they're probably just friends and everyone's like
and
blowing
it's just
kind of But I do love Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny.
You know what? I love them. I kind of like it too.
The love I have for Bad Bunny knows no bounds.
I love Bad Bunny. And Mike and I talked about this on the pod one time, like, because we were in points of contention about the Grammys. And I actually said, Annie knows that I am the world's largest Harry Styles fan because we went to go see Harry together.
We sure did.
And we had twice. And we had damn good times.
Oh my God.
We went to New York. We took the Amtrak. We had so much fun.
We went to MSG, baby.
We did.
Like, we did the damn thing.
It was such a blast. I would do anything to go back and relive that.
I want to go back. I just don't want to go to New York.
No, I don't want to. I honestly.
I never want to return to New York.
I never want to go back to New York. It is the grossest city.
Why is everything wet?
No, everything is wet. And Annie, we were sitting in a bar before the show. It was actually called Mustang Harry's, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were sitting in Mustang Harry's, and all of a sudden we're just sitting there having a drink, minding our own business. And all of a sudden something just drips onto my forehead from the ceiling.
I can't.
And I was like, I have to get a tetanus shot when I leave here. I don't have a choice.
It's just,
everything there is moist. Everything smells like trash. Everything is vaguely dirty.
I get it. I know we were in Times Square and New York people know that's not the real New York. I get that. But if you're going to MSG, we were going for one night. Obviously, we're going to stay in Times Square. We're keeping it easy.
Right.
But like everything is just damp. The
It is
sidewalk is damp. Every restaurant you go into is wet. I just don't get it.
Annie, I'm with you.
Where's the condensation coming from?
No, and it's all like even in the right now, people are posting it's 85 degrees there.
What?
How?
Why?
How is that?
I don't understand.
I don't get it. New York is such an enigma to me.
It really is.
Like,
and like people that have said in their like, I can't wait to grow up and live in New York City. Like that's my dream.
Could
never be me. Never.
No, I would.
No.
Nope.
You couldn't. You actually couldn't pay me. I feel like you told me this.
What?
Like maybe your husband was going.
Oh
to
yeah.
move there.
No, that's a true story. Andrew, damn it, my husband was going for he was thinking about applying for a job in New York, and he said to me, I would love to maybe live in New York for a year or two. We could go together. And I said, no. I said, I love you very much, and I would follow you to 49 other states before I would follow you to New York City.
I will go to North Dakota.
Absolutely. Wyoming, sign me up.
Sounds great this time of year.
I love the buffalo.
You know what doesn't? New York City.
Absolutely
Sounds
not.
bad.
I would never.
Objectively bad.
No, I totally agree with you. It just has nothing
Sorry,
nothing to offer for me.
Totally derailed that conversation.
No,
but I needed to get it.
Listen,
out.
I'm willing to talk about how much I hate New York anytime, and it really solidifies the brand of being from Massachusetts.
It does. It really does.
One of my favorite things of all time about Annie is that she was such a Yankees hater. Like back in the day, she had like a Yankees stink shirt because she couldn't have a Yankee suck shirt because we were too little.
It's so funny. Because I was such a Red Sox fan growing up, like an insane Red Sox fan.
You were.
It really.
I do know that about you.
It was a little scary.
Yeah,
it really was.
You were diehard, but that was the time when they were really good.
Like 2004,
the 2004 World Series.
Oh my god, guys, we were 10 years old. Like that was that.
It was insane.
It was everything to me. I couldn't handle them
It was
losing.
everything to me.
It was everything. And I remember going. My family had like 10 games they would get in the bleachers. And I remember going and I remember getting like beer spilt on me. And I was like, this is the greatest park ever.
This is the life, baby. This is what I always dreamed
of. I remember going to a Yankees game and I was like, oh yeah, I hate these guys. I hate them. And
I hate these people.
There's the photos with the Yankees stink t-shirts.
That's one of my favorite things. We'll have to post it on the Instagram.
It's really
so good.
It's so good. And I'm so proud to be wearing it.
Oh my God, you're so jazzed.
I had another one that was Choke. And it was in like Coca-Cola writing. And it said the official soft drink of the New York Yankees. I was hard.
If there was anything that you rode hard for back in the day, it was the Red Sox and Kelly Clarkson. Because Annie's screen name back in the day was Clarkson Fan. What were the numbers?
Clarkson Fan 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And do you know she's doing a Vegas residency?
Should we go?
Like I need to see her live.
I have heard that she is fantastic.
Of course
live.
she is. Her voice is perfect.
No, she's fantastic.
Do you know
every cover she does is just so good.
One of my favorite things, and I made a TikTok about this once, is that I think Taylor Swift is a great songwriter. I don't think Taylor Swift is a great singer, and I know that's going to cause some controversy, but that is what it is.
This isn't really a pro Swiftie podcast. So
okay, good. I think that Taylor Swift should write songs,
and Kelly Clarkson
or Miley Cyrus should sing them. Like that should be the way it goes from here on out.
It's like Meghan Trainor. Like Meghan Trainor writes hits for a lot of people. She should just write hits and stop singing music. Respectfully. But I don't mean any harm. I do like Meghan Trainor as a person.
I love that her songs are just on commercials.
That's what they're for.
And I love that Kris Jenner was in the music video.
Oh my God,
I'm sorry.
Funny.
Like that is
so it's giving Ariana Grande with the Thank You Next music video.
Whoever is on Meghan Trainor's marketing PR team needs a raise ASAP.
Because and the work that she's done with Chris Olsen, like,
oh my God,
has just skyrocketed her to an absolute another level.
Is Chris Olsen dating her brother?
I think they're doing that for clout. I don't think they're actually dating, but I think they like to make it seem like maybe they're dating because I think people think that that's interesting.
I saw that and I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
But you were saying the point of contention at the Grammys was that
what should win album of the year?
Yes.
Beyonce, Bad Bunny, or Harry?
Right.
And I think now with you, we have 3 points of view. Mike obviously was team Beyonce.
Right.
I obviously was team Harry. You, I'm sure, were team Bad Bunny. But I actually would have been fine with Bad Bunny winning.
Right.
I actually think if it came down to Harry and Bad Bunny, I actually genuinely do believe that Bad Bunny deserved it more. He was globally the most streamed artist.
To be very clear, I am always team Beyonce, and I
do know that about you.
I think that Renaissance should win every single award known to mankind because it's so beautiful and so perfect.
Yes.
But I think it is a disservice to not have Bad Bunny acknowledged at the. I mean, obviously he performed and that's awesome,
right. but it wasn't enough.
He is so famous, and sells so many albums, and his music is so loved by people all around the world. And I just feel like, and I love Harry Styles.
No, me too.
Harry Styles was a great album, but it's like, how can you not acknowledge this person
in any capacity?
That it was it's like such a otherworldly superstar.
Harry could have won a Grammy in another category, and it would have been enough for him.
Have As It Was win Record of the Year.
Totally.
Awesome.
I completely agree with you.
Love that for you.
I just think Bad Bunny did not get the flowers that he deserved in that moment.
But his Carpool Karaoke with James Corden.
Oh my God, so good.
Was one of the best I've ever seen.
Absolutely incredible. And speaking of James Corden, Harry Styles is going to be on his Goodbye show, which is crazy.
Which I love.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be good.
Do you think he'll do Carpool Karaoke?
I don't know. I would bet maybe.
I hope so. We need one more.
The One Direction Carpool Karaoke is,
oh my God.
I love it. Makes me so happy.
And the Sam Smith one when
that one's really good too.
Fifth Harmony comes in and they do Work From Home. Oh,
that is so good.
So good.
You know what I was watching yesterday, and this is just because we were talking about Harry Styles, but Harry Styles was on SNL and he did this clip one time. He did like this skit where him and one of the ladies from SNL, I forget her name, it was like a fake childbirth class. Have you ever seen it? And they're in a childbirth class and they're these like Scandinavian people with blonde hair and they're so beautiful and they're like in a childbirth class with just regular people. And oh my God, if you haven't seen it, you have to watch it.
I need to go watch it.
So funny. And Harry Styles about everything just keeps going, for sure, my dudes. And he's like talking about how his wife is like, he's like, for sure, my wife is only getting hotter throughout the entire pregnancy. And like, all she wants to do is how you say, make love. And like all the other guys are like, what the hell?
What the hell is this guy doing?
And oh my God, it is so funny. You have to watch it.
How do you feel about Harry as an actor?
That's a loaded question.
I know.
Here's what I think. I think if anybody else had played the role that he played in Don't Worry, Darling, they wouldn't have gotten any flack. I think he caught the flack that he did because he was Harry Styles.
Of course.
And I think if any other white boy played it would have been like, if it ended up being Shia LaBeouf, it would have been like, that was a pretty good performance, but obviously it was Florence that everybody was watching because it was meant to be Florence that everybody was watching.
She was a star.
She was such a star. I actually feel bad that she was snubbed for that role because she did a very good job.
You know what's interesting too? I just watched her Hot Ones and and Sean Evans didn't ask her anything about it. And I wonder if her PR team doesn't allow anyone to ask her questions about it anymore. She's probably like, I'm so fucking sick of talking about it. Please
no, and I don't blame her. And that's why I was so glad. I mean, I always had an inkling that Harry and what's her face, Olivia were, I always had a feeling that they were not totally PR, but I think maybe it might have started as PR. Yeah. And then, so I was glad that they broke up. It was just, she was never
we are Sudeikis fans.
We are. We're, have you been watching the new season?
Of course I have.
So good. New episode tonight. I'm going to have to watch it without
the way I love Brett Goldstein actually hurts my bones.
I love him so
I want to grind his bones to dust. I love him so much.
I need Keely and Roy to get back together.
I know. I think it's going to end that way.
I think so too. But I love her. Spoiler alert, if you're listening right now, little spoiler alert, fast forward like 30 seconds. I love her little bi journey that she's on. I love it for her. Everybody on that show is bi, and you'll never convince me otherwise.
100%.
Except for the old guy. What's his
Coach Beard?
No, Beard might be a little bit bi.
The old guy.
Leslie.
Leslie. He's straight.
He's straight.
He's
for sure.
a straight man.
But everybody else, I could see.
Yeah,
they're on their own journey.
Even Jamie. I would love to see a little.
Oh my God, me too. That would be lovely.
I love him.
I love him too.
That cast is just so perfect, and their writers' room is just so awesome.
Oh my God, yeah.
Just great all around.
I think
good job.
After the end of the last episode, I think we're at a turning point for the season. Like I think things are gonna change now, which is good.
I really hope so because it was getting a little depressing.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm upset.
I was starting to get a little sad.
Same.
But anyways, that's that. And then a couple other quick topics here. We can just do a little rapid fire because I know we've been chatting for a while now. Coachella was last weekend. A lot of drama with the Frank Ocean of it all.
I know. So I was trying to read some stuff about it, but Coachella as a whole to me is just so wildly uninteresting.
No, I completely agree with you. I have never once even entertained the idea of going because it's so everything that I hate.
The only one that I would want to go to would have been when Beyonce was there, just because it was so iconic and she doesn't do things half-assed and you knew it was going to be amazing. But again, like I don't want to see her with 10,000 other people.
Right.
I don't. That sounds horrible to me, actually.
Right. It just nothing about that sounds fun.
No.
And that's why I think the Frank Ocean thing was so disappointing to people because it's like you have these performers and these artists that have treated this as if it is the performance of a lifetime.
Right.
And Frank Ocean comes out, he's half behind the stage. He only plays like 5 or 6 songs. He only plays for like a half an hour. And I get that they were at the curfew and whatever. I totally understand that. And a lot of people have come out and said, and this is actually something that's funny to me, is Justin Bieber ended up defending him online, saying that, the performance was fantastic or whatever. And it's like, Justin, you couldn't even defend your own wife, but you're going to defend Frank Ocean online?
Mr. Bieber.
Yikes on bikes. But I think a lot of people were saying that that the performance wasn't for the fans. It was for Frank's brother, which I totally get.
Right.
And I completely understand that. But
just don't do it at Coachella.
But maybe that wasn't the venue for
it.
Maybe if you wanted to do something like that for your brother, you got to put a little bit more effort into it.
I think it's difficult because Frank seems like one of those artists where his fans are super fans.
Yes.
And
people rode so hard for him that now I think it's going to be hard this upcoming weekend. I'm honestly surprised that they didn't try to replace him.
I know.
I am really surprised that they weren't like, okay, let's get somebody else for weekend 2.
Or maybe they're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to stick with one set the whole time.
Right. Yeah.
And you're going to be out on stage.
But there was I saw videos of people like racing to the Frank Ocean stage as soon as the doors opened at 8 a.m. And he didn't go on until 8 p.m. And they stood there for 12 hours.
And he was an hour and a half late.
Right.
Which is just not great.
Yeah. No, it's not a great optic. But I just thought the whole thing was kind of interesting to watch. And I don't usually find Coachella interesting.
I think
I don't care about the outfits. I don't care about the influencers. No. I don't care about the brand trips. It doesn't matter to me.
It's just all so weird to me.
It is.
But I feel like Frank to me is interesting too because he to me is such like an intimate artist and I almost want him to play like small venues.
Yes.
And I know that's probably not possible because he's so famous and Blonde is one of those albums that people are like, it's the best album ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that. I do. But I think that if you are someone that to me, it just doesn't seem like he likes being on stage.
No.
And I think that that's very valid.
I totally agree with you.
And stages can swallow people up. I've seen artists that play big venues and they shouldn't have.
Right.
And it doesn't take away from their talent. It's just, it's not made for you.
That's how I always feel about every time I see Ed Sheeran. I'm like, Ed Sheeran, I get that you have the star power and the fans to play these stadiums.
Right.
But you're one man on a stadium stage with a guitar. And I'm not saying he's not good. He puts on a fantastic show.
Right, he's awesome.
But he stands there the whole, you're just seeing a man with a guitar.
That's what I don't understand.
And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying the production value of it is not, it's not Beyonce.
No.
And it's not Harry Styles. It's not, you're not getting
If I'm going to Gillette or if I'm going to one of these big venues, I want to see a Beyonce. I want to see you running up and down the stage like that.
I want to see the Taylor Swift diving into the stage thing that she's doing on the Era Tour. That's what I want to see. That's the production value that you should be putting into this.
I want even the country shows. Kenny Chesney is beat bopping around that stage.
He's sprinting around.
in the best shape of his life.
He really is.
The man's like 55. I'm like, how do you look like that?
No, he looks so good, honestly. Good for him.
He's a gorgeous man.
He really is quite beautiful. Who
was he married to? Renee.
He was married to Renee Zellweger for a little while.
That was crazy.
Like,
they were married.
Would never.
No.
Nope.
I feel like someone told me that, and I was like, that's not true. And I looked it up, and I was like, oh shit, that's true.
That's another couple that, in my mind, don't exist on the same.
They don't
like plane.
No, there's no way your circles ran together.
No, I completely agree with you. All right, two last quick topics. One, did you hear about the popcorn gate thing about the guy?
Oh, it's so bad.
It's actually really bad. I think my thoughts on it are polarizing, but I think that the wife should have cleaned up the popcorn. I'm sorry, but
of course. How is there another?
No, people are saying we're wrong.
You're kidding me.
No,
and do you know this is like tied into Jesse James Decker somehow?
Yeah, of course. It always leads back to Jesse James Decker and her crazy ass family.
I can't stand her. I think she is one of the most insufferable people on this planet.
She is one of the worst influence. Like,
she's so bad.
Oh, she's so annoying. She drives me insane.
So why?
When there was like a whole phase where everybody was obsessed with her, I just remember being like, what the? Who is this?
Okay, but for me, when she did I Look So Good Without You, I was like, that song goes. Yeah. That song goes. No,
that was a bop.
I'm not taking that away from her.
And I've always said that.
But she's so whiny.
She is so whiny.
And just acts like, it's like the pity party thing to me. And I can't stand it.
And she has a weird family dynamic with her family, and some of them don't talk, and the sister's an influencer. It's like the whole thing.
But the popcorn gate is so bad.
And he's famous too, I guess, the husband.
He's a baseball. Oh, Jesse's husband or the the pregnant wife with the popcorn. The husband that tweeted it out is a baseball player.
Yeah, he's a loser.
Loser. Everyone was like, "Why didn't you clean it up?"
Right. And why were you making your wife, who's apparently a high risk pregnancy, travel alone with 2 children?
They're like, I'm just really confused at what he thought he was going to get out of that. He thought, and then he tweeted like, United is handling
it internally. If this poor flight attendant gets fired, I will lose my fucking mind. No, it just goes to show how privileged and stupid people are.
How entitled can you be? I don't think people realize, but flight attendants are not like your servants.
No. And not for nothing, but make your children pick it up. If your children are old enough to pick up popcorn or to eat popcorn, they're old enough to pick it up off the floor.
It's insane to me.
That's nothing embarrasses me more when you go to a restaurant and people go with their kids and they just leave shit all over the floor. There's macaroni under the table. I'm sorry, take 2 seconds and pick it up.
Or don't go out to eat.
Or don't bring your children to a restaurant.
I know how stressful it is. I get it. I get it's a lot. It's chaotic. But if you are making the decision to go out with children, then you need to acknowledge, okay, I'm going to have to spend a little extra time picking it up.
Or tip 40%.
Right. Or at least acknowledge to the waitress. Or
say to the waitress, hey, I'm really sorry that my kids made a huge mess. I really appreciate your help.
So you're going to go, you're not going to say anything to the poor flight attendant that probably had to deal with this. You're just going to tweet at United because you have X amount of followers. Grow up.
No, it makes me so mad. I can't even.
And if you're on the other side, I don't want to be
on the other side. That's what I have to say to that.
Got their ass.
Got him. You stink, man. All right, last one. This one was just a little fun one that I picked up. So apparently, do you remember the show Victorious?
Yes.
I used to love that show. It was a hot flick. Victoria Justice addresses longtime rumor that she's quote unquote jealous of Ariana Grande. And she basically goes on to say that her and Ariana Grande both were like, this is a direct quote, we were both like, this is so stupid. Justice said of hearing of the rivalry rumors. Yeah. And that the narrative was created.
I saw her being interviewed by, I feel like it was E! News or ET or something. I don't remember. But it's just why are you asking her this question?
No.
And it's been 1,000 of years.
Exactly. And one of the best clips of all time comes from the root of this feud. And it's the one when they're all getting interviewed, the whole cast of Victorious.
Yeah.
And the interviewer says, who sings the most? And almost all of the girls there say Ariana. Ariana sings all the time. Obviously because and at the time she wasn't, but because she's Ariana Grande.
Right.
And her star was really starting to rise at that time. But Victoria Justice turns around and goes, well, I think we all sing. And it's it's just one of those quotes that I say all about random things all the time. I'll be like, well, I think we all should be on the podcast.
Right.
Things like that. And it's just, but it was just a narrative that came from They were children. Who even cares?
I actually just saw someone, Christy Carlson Romano, who was on Even Stevens, was interviewing, I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the ladies on Zoe 101.
Right.
And they were, she was telling this,
that she was like getting bullied.
Horrific story about going to, she went back to her trailer and her Jamie Lynn like weren't getting along anyways, and we're Jamie Lynn haters on this, I hope.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
This is an anti Jamie Lynn pod.
That's our tagline. Yeah. But she's telling this story, and then Brittany comes into the trailer, I guess, and is like screaming in her face. And I'm like, why are we telling these stories like 15 years later? I'm sorry that you went through that. That's horrific. But I don't know. It feels weird to me.
But what are you gaining out of it? You feel vindicated?
Like
you're getting a little bit of closure?
I mean, I want people to talk about their experiences, and I hope that no child actor has to go through the crap that they had to go through. But like, what are you gaining from that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're just trying to drag up stuff like all these years later.
Right. And I feel like when an interviewer asking Victoria that question, like, why are you asking her that?
Right. They probably haven't even talked in 10 years.
No.
Ariana's onto bigger and better.
I'm so excited to see Wicked.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so good.
It's going to be so good.
But like once a day, I think about and I know that's once a day, I think about how much I miss Ariana Grande and Mac Miller together.
No,
they were soulmates. They should have been together forever.
I just watched a TikTok compilation of it, and I
send it my way.
No,
I love a good TikTok compilation.
I was bawling my ass out.
No, I would have been too.
Like,
it's just
I can't handle it.
I think about Mac Miller every day.
I
think about him every day.
I listened to him on the way here because I was like, I just need to I need some Mac.
Let's need a little Mac.
That was one of the first free concerts
I was just going to say that. Justin, were you there? You're nodding too.
I was at the free concert.
We were all there.
Yes.
That was like, oh my God.
That was a cultural reset.
Getting into fights. Like,
oh my God,
getting thrown.
No, that was a cultural reset.
Crazy.
It really was. I was in a pencil skirt.
I remember.
A big black chunky belt.
Yep. I came home from the vineyard for it. I was on my family vacation on the vineyard.
Stop.
And I was like, Mom, I have to go home. I have to go to the Mac Miller free concert.
Dying.
And my mom was like, you want to leave this luxe family vacation on Martha's Vineyard to go to a Mac Miller concert? Okay.
And we were what, like 15?
We could not have been more than 15. We probably were younger than that.
And honestly, and you said this earlier, but like that was my Met. That was
that was my moment.
That was it.
Like
I was showing up and stepping out.
Uploading the pictures from to MySpace and Facebook from that, like after the fact, it was. If you weren't tagged in those pictures, you were nothing.
You weren't.
Where were you?
Sorry.
Where were you? Like it's one of those things that now, if you weren't there, where were you?
Where were you on concert? Where were you on January 6th? And where were you at the free Mac Miller concert?
Were you there? Or please explain. What were you doing that was so much more important?
What a core memory.
It really was. That was a core memory.
The other one was like, I want to say Jason Derulo, maybe.
No, I don't remember that one.
Selena Gomez.
No, I don't remember that
I have to go back.
I only remember the Mac Miller one. And then there was like, do you remember like Mophie?
Kind of.
Maybe that.
I remember Mophie. Yeah.
Justin remembers. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was like a Braintree and more South Shore that way thing. But there was like this guy Mophie, and there was like a free Mophie concert, and everybody was there.
Do you know?
It was like Star Gang was
one of the first concerts I went to in high school was a Sammy Adams concert.
Oh wait, I think that one might have been a free concert too, maybe.
It was at House of Blues. I think I probably paid $20 for a ticket, and I remember I got my tonsils out.
No.
Like 5 days before, and I was like, I can't miss Sammy Adams.
Sammy Adams.
Boston's boy. He showed up an hour late.
No.
Was shit-faced.
Oh my God.
I don't even know
how old were you?
I was 15, and I was like, this is the greatest concert of my life.
Oh my God.
It was iconic. No regrets.
I mean, of course. How could you ever regret something like
Sammy Adams?
It's Sammy Adams, lazy boy.
I can't.
I'm going to go listen to Sammy Adams on my way out of here.
All Night Longer still goes.
That is an absolute banger.
It still goes.
It really does. It's so good. We need to get Adam on the podcast because Adam and I went to, and he's going to kill me for telling the story. Adam and I me, Adam, and a bunch of our friends went to an All-Time Low concert at the House of Blues.
Stop.
And I was like a diehard.
You were.
Like, I was like kind of an emo kid.
You were like a Warped Tour girlie.
I was a Warped Tour girly. Like every year for my birthday, I was like, I want to go to Warped Tour. My parents were like, no. Like
Right.
my parents, they were like, we just let you get gauges. Like, please back up. Like, you pick your battles here. Like, we let you get gauges. You can't
You
go
really
to
were
Woodford.
like a skater girl.
No, I kind of was. Peyton was too. Like,
I
I mean,
know.
you had etnies, but
I like wasn't.
But you were, yeah. But it's okay. And that's fine. But Adam and I went with a bunch of our friends to the All Time Low concert. And I'll never forget it. It was like, it was really crazy. And we were too young to be doing some of the stuff that we were doing. But everybody basically didn't get into the concert except for me and Adam. And I want to say like maybe one other person that I won't expose them on the pod. But basically nobody got into this concert because we were all like so basically everybody else was so incoherent that they could not get in except for me and Adam. And I lost Adam. Like this was not smartphones. This was like LG Envy Flip, like LG Envy Touch was the vibe at the time.
God, I miss those phones.
You know, me too. And there was no service in the House of Blues.
Nope.
And I'm like trying to see if I have any friends there, but I was like, I'm not missing this fucking concert.
No.
If I'm the only one that got in here, I'm the only one that got in. I didn't care at that point. I was like, I know how to take the red line. I can take the red line home.
You're a city girl.
Over. Motherfucking city girl. I was like, I'm staying. I don't care. And all of a sudden, I swear to God, it was like an angel from above. I turn around and there's Adam. Oh. And I was like, Adam, you made it in too. And he was like, yeah, I did. I made it in. And Adam and I stood there and just watched All Time Low on the floor of the House of Blues, just us like just sitting there.
Love that.
And then we took the red line home. And I'll never forget it. My mom picked me up at Wollaston Station. And because all of our friends got kicked out, I had clothes in somebody else's car, but they got kicked out. They didn't make it.
Yep.
And I had left the house in like jeans and a hoodie, and I was showing up back home in like the tightest jean skirt you've ever seen with a Hollister tank top, like very scantily clad.
Yes.
And I got home and my mom just looked at me and was like,
just
she's just so defeated. Like,
yes.
I do not have the energy to deal with
No.
anything that you... And I was like, please don't. All my friends got kicked out. It was literally just me and Adam. And she just kind of looked at me and was like, we'll talk about it later.
Go to bed.
And then I don't think we ever ended up talking about it. I think it just... But it was...
you had the time of your life.
Yeah, it was incredible. I'll never forget it.
Wow, I love that you went out in a different outfit. I don't know if I ever did that.
Oh, I was the queen of that. Like, there was really nothing. I mean, you and I are both the third children in our family, and things were very lax by the time it was our time around. And our siblings are roughly around the same age. Like, my brother and your sister grew up together. And by the time my parents got to me, it was just like, we do not have the energy. Care. But that was the one thing that my parents were kind of like, you're not going out in that outfit.
Right.
And that was always kind of their one thing. And I wasn't going to be caught dead at the All Time Low concert in jeans, Mom.
No.
Please.
God, do you not know anything?
No, exactly. No, my mom still to this day, like I'm 28, about to turn 28 years old. And my mom will be like, don't you have like a little cami to go under that? She says it about
No.
Don't you have a little cami to wear with that? I'm like, Mom, I haven't worn a cami since I was 12.
I haven't thought about a cami in so long.
About everything. I'll be wearing a crop top. Don't you have a little cami to go under that?
Stop.
Does anybody else's mom say it? Like, I swear to God, my mom says it about everything. Don't you have a little cami? Or don't you have a little white sweater for that?
Why is it always a white sweater or a shawl? Every wedding I go to, my mom's like, you need a shawl. I'm like, I'm not 90. You need a shawl. Anna, you need a shawl. It's going to get cold. Just drape it over your shawl. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
It's fine.
She tried to give me, last thing, I'm sorry, but she tried to give me, my Nana Phyllis was a very well-dressed woman, and she had this like little mini mink fur coat. And she tries to give it to me for a wedding. I'm like, it's July.
Right.
I'm good.
You're like,
I'm
I promise
good.
you it'll be warm enough.
And I'm not wearing that.
I'm dying. That is the most your mom thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Shawl.
Just a little shawl. No, a shawl, like, or that my mom always says about a wedding. She's like, a little pashmina, maybe?
I can't.
What do I need a pashmina for?
Not.
My mom's going to listen to this and be like, why were you talking shit about me on this episode?
Okay, we love you
That's
so much.
All right. Well, thanks, Anne. This was a great first episode. And thank you to Justin. Thank you to Hedge Better Studios here at the Hedge Quarters for hosting us. And don't forget to like, subscribe. What's your handle? Are you just at Annie Dow on Instagram?
I think I'm at Annie_Dow.
And then don't forget to follow us at Talk of the Townies. I'm at Just Happy to Be Here, at Hedge Better, at The Real J Fine, like the whole squad. Follow us all. And we'll see you next week.
I can't wait.
Bye, everybody.